Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Admiral Pegasus and this is the Pegasus Show, and on today's show we are going to be reviewing the Ark Lower Decks 2 Part 2 of October 2023 and also giving you my thoughts on the content that was released this month. As always, if you do like the content, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, if you want to know when I drop videos or I go live, please don't hit that subscribe button and make sure the notifications are turned on. So, let's begin. So, as normal, what we'll do is we'll begin starting with the officers, and our first officer is going to be Dr. Tahan, the Pussycat from Lower Decks, who's the Chief Medical Officer of the Starship Cerritos, and all officers, I will just quickly point out, are below deck officers, which means not one of them is fit to command. So, what have we got for this one? Well, I'm going to have to look at my trusted pad because I've written everything I want to say. Well, actually, most of what I say, the rest of it's going to be improvised. So, Tahan then, interesting officer's ability in the fact that it can proc random states. Yeah. Interesting to say the least. Good chance of either getting hull breach, burning, or morale. Yeah. Do you really want to take that chance of an officer procking morale when you actually want it to proc hull breach? And she's on your bridge? Yeah, it's not an officer who I would particularly trust. No, not really. Moving on to a below deck ability. Yeah, ISO defense increase. So, starts off at 40% and maxes out at 100%. Yeah. Is that right? Sorry, no, I read the wrong line. Starts off at 50% and procs out at maxes out at 250. Luckily, I did put the screenshots up, so don't worry. Trust the screenshots rather than what I'm actually saying, because, yeah, they're right. But, yeah, ISO defense, starting off, to be perfectly honest, when you've got officers procking quite a bit of isolytic cascade, and then you've got the research as well on top of that, 50% can seem very woeful, even with your research on ISO defense. But, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't able to source it this month, but we'll get onto the sourcing in just a minute. So, yeah, take it as you will. Now, just a quick throw in here. I don't know if this is correct or no longer, but last I heard, apparently she was broken. Gotta love it, can you? You've gotta love it. The fact that Scopely break an officer they just release. Cracking work. Absolutely top notch. Yeah, you can get the sarcasm there. So, moving on to our next epic. Shax, our crazy Bajoran security officer of the Starship Cerritos. Again, below deck officer, but his officer's ability is completing the overall meta which we started last month when we saw the interceptors and explorers get a replacement for the weakest part of the strike teams. Woo! Doesn't matter by the fact that that's completely negated by the fact that we also had Carol Freeman last month, who basically wipes strike teams out without a second thought. At least I can go against the strike teams now. Because I obviously do have Carol, but Shax completes the battleship one, so obviously he would end up replacing Ortegas on the bridge of your battleship strike team. And obviously, his below deck ability is obviously the ISO defense for an explorer. I suppose you could mix it with Dr. Tahan, who's on the bridge of his ship. Make sure it's an explorer. Hang on, no, sorry, on below deck of your explorer with Shax. Yeah, increasing the isolytic defense. Obviously, Shax is the one that's the 40 to 100. So, yeah, again, could be kind of interesting. Not 100% sure if they will stack, but I think they would, in all honesty. But again, that's requiring the use of a strike team officer. Now, the one thing is with these two particular officers, they are in different synergy groups. Obviously, Tahan is in the lower deck synergy group, while Shax is in the battleship strike team synergy group. So just bear that in mind when it comes to synergy on the bridge of your ships. So the sourcing has been pretty much the standard that we've got used to. We've got the heroic SMS and also the SLB running. Now, with the exception of the first weekend where we did not have the SLB running, it was just Shax in heroic SMS. Now, the downside was, and we've actually got it running right here today at the time of recording the officer segment of this video. When it comes up, let's go into the events, and it's right here. Basically, what you're going to have is you're going to have a maximum of 50 shards. Yeah, that's all you got. 50 poxy shards. But if you have a look at the number of points, right, and you also take a look at this little conversion chart here, for G3, G4 players, yeah, obviously I'm a G4, those points are based on your current op server. So 14.44 million points I need. So let's do some quick maths here. So let's move the calculator into a bit more of an acceptable position. So we had 14,440 and so there we go, 14.44 million. And let's take it by the uncommon points here for G4. There, let's look at the G4 because that's where I am. So divide that by 100 points. That's how much G4 uncommon materials I would need to spend on this event. Now, quick word here, quick word. It does say heroic. It does say heroic. So in theory, a free-to-play player should never in a million years be able to complete this. However, when it comes to spenders, you're going to have to crack out that MasterCard, that Visa, or however it is you pay for in this game, and really buy some packs with heavy materials. And then make sure you've got enough ship components to upgrade, you've got enough buildings to upgrade, you've got enough research to do. Yeah, there's a lot of spending of materials involved in this. Now, G5, it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but again, still uncommon. That's 150 points. So take around about... actually, I'll tell you what. Let's not even try doing the maths in my head on that one. So let's just put the 100 back in on that one. And then we'll go for the divided by 150 points for the G5. So again, that's still 96,267 uncommon G5 material. So again, that's still a lot of spending involved. Yeah, not very good. Now, Tahan's was different because you did not get shards. You got some tokens, which you took to the recruit section. And I think that's actually gone now. So let's just have a quick look. I do believe it's gone. I can't... Oh, no, it's still here. Cool, it's still here. So what you did is you had a chance for a full unlock. Yeah, you had the chance of a full unlock. But, guess what? There's still more spending involved in this one. More spending. Yes, Tahan's SMS had you get these senior medical recruit tokens. Yes. But you didn't get enough. No, because what you needed to do was come here, convert them via these chests to get these as a guarantee. Now, bearing in mind for the full unlock, if you quickly caught it, 4,800 of these Tahan unlock tokens, right? 4,800. You weren't going to get that. You'd get enough for about 50 shards. But they did throw in the RNG chance. And actually the I buttons finally appeared there. But again, it's not giving you the RNG for that particular thing. Now, there was also an SMS running as well, which gave you a total of 5 500 recruit tokens. 500 recruit tokens. Now, the only upside to that event, is we go back here. 10 shards per chest. 2 chests, 20 shards. Brilliant. 50-50 on heroic, epic or rare officers. And of course, you've got some not too bad. I mean, you've got also ransom, you got pull-ups, you got strike team Lalan as well. So that's not bad because obviously I really do need Lalan. But the one thing is 20 shards is still not going to get me anywhere near. But the chances of that is not very high. Yeah. The chance of me getting even the last 6 shards for pull-ups. Yeah. Not much chance of that one neither. So was that event worth doing? Not in my opinion. And what event was that? Well, that was the Gold Rush. Yes, the Gold Rush event, which was the stupidly high point scoring event, which took free-to-play players who did not spend some money in the game on a certain FT, which we will mention later in the video. It took you around 12 to 18 hours, depending on the speed of your feature for mining concentrated platinum. Yeah, the speed of it, or however many features you had. Probably you could even take it down to 5 hours if you had enough features to do it with. But if you actually got that FT, you could do it in 10 minutes. Boom, done, not a problem. But again, was it worth spending 15 hours in-game mining concentrated platinum? That's pretty much all the time you are awake. So no working, no looking after the kids, no making meals, no doing the pots, no doing hoovering, no ironing. Yeah, you get the picture. You pretty much had to dedicate your entire 24-hour day minus your sleep to mining concentrated platinum. Yes, when it's mining, yes, you can still do other stuff in the game. And yes, you could still go put the washer on. You can still go make yourself a cup of tea. Or hell, you could still even go have a crap on the toilet if you really, really wanted to. But 15 hours of mining. Really, Scopely? Really? But no, I chose not to do that event whatsoever. I chose not to do it. Because for me, yes, chance for 20 shards of officers, brilliant. Yeah, not a problem. However, I'd be stuck with 200 of these. Maybe 300. At the max, 400. So, yeah, was not really worth me actually doing it for a chance to have a glorious 400 unlocked tokens sat in my inventory doing absolutely diddly flipping squat and nothing except but taking up bandwidth. The one thing that in that live stream they did with David Eckelbury that he mentioned on a couple of occasions, they talked about bandwidth. We only have so much bandwidth in the game. In that case, then, if we've got only so much bandwidth in the game, David, how about you get rid of some of the flipping crap in the game so we could actually have a little bit more bandwidth, you know, maybe for something like decent content. Sorry, had to put it out there. But anyway, so that's the sourcing. Now, yes, you could still eventually, potentially unlock both of these officers. So, yeah. But again, heavily paywalled. Heavily paywalled. And again, Shaxx as well is here as well in the store. But as well, what you're looking at, you've got these Shaxx tokens here. But yet you needing to go to the pay store itself and actually get some of these conference invitations. Again, but again, the RNG isn't too bad. So, and then obviously, oh, there's no chance of the unlock tokens for that one. Yes. But again, you take it here, you need 4,800 of the damn things just to unlock him. So, yeah. Mostly if I did spend some materials during this event, then I might get an extra shard. But anyway, so I've not done too bad. 43 shards so far this month for him. Not too bad. But anyway, so that's those two particular officers. Now, the third officer we got this month was our rare, and it was a free-to-play officer. It is Admiral Alonso Freeman, who is the husband of Carol Freeman and the father of Mariner Beckett. Yes. Now, he was able to be sourced by using this particular event here called the Friends in High Places event, a meta, where basically you were just doing a load of SMSs, full, not 100% participation. You could miss 1 or 2 events, and yeah, 1 or 2, that's it, that's as much. But you'd end up getting a full unlock. Me, I've acquired an extra 26 shards along the way through the month, so which basically means I'm over halfway to getting him to tier 2, because it's 45 shards for tier 2. So not particularly too bad. Can't grumble. I've got 1 more shard to come the day after recording this segment with the ticketed events. So, again, he's a below deck officer, and officer's ability is to increase cargo size by either 20% all the way up to 55%, depending on what tier you get him. Okay, yes, not particularly bad, but again, we have officers who it's a bridge slot he would take up, and we have officers that can do far better. 2 of 11. 3 of 11, is it 3 or 4? It's one of the 2. It's Borg Ston, and then we have Ston himself. Those 3 officers are your primary bridge officer cargo increasing officers. 2 of 11 as captain, then both the Stons on either side. Massive increase. Alonso, I really cannot see anybody putting him on the bridge unless they have not got Borg Ston, in all honesty. He's going to be the replacement for Borg Ston, or maybe 2 of 11. But that's the only replacement I could see him for, if they haven't actually got one of those 2 Borg officers. But his below deck ability is probably where it's actually going to be at. And that is increasing faction reputation. Yes, increasing faction reputation. Brilliant. And I can see him being primarily used as that, because he is primarily being used for that with me. And if we actually take a look at where my Newton is right now, it's here in space, and we're not going to actually see it particularly there. So what I'm going to do is going to jump into here, click on ship. But what you're going to see on ship A is you're going to see Galana, officer's ability, increasing faction reputation. Harry Kim, officer's ability, increasing faction reputation. Alonso, below deck ability, increasing faction reputation. Crush is just there for stats on below deck. 5 of 11 there. Loot increasing, which also includes faction reputation. Hugh of 11 just there for the PvE aspect. And then you got the Doctor hid behind me here. Sadly, because I can't get the green screen working properly because of the apps not actually doing what I want them to do anymore. Also, loot increasing, but again, faction reputation increase. So this is now going to form the staple of a faction reputation grinding crew. It is, for me, they're just as good as Pipe Monroe Chen. I was breaking over 100,000 reputation points per run, coupled with the Newton's ability. So if we go back out, click on there, adding on the Newton's ability. Mine's a tier 7 Newton. 60% resources gained from hostiles, but that also includes faction reputation. So here you can see all the below decks here. So massive increase. What have I got? I've got a 10. I've got a 15. So that's 25 just on below deck. Harry Kim is giving me Galana is giving me another 9%. So that's now 34%. 60% with 5 of 11. So now that's 94%. Harry, 7%. 101%. plus the 60% of the Newton, 161% boost to faction reputation. Then add on all my research for it as well. Now, if I had the Collinar, that would be even more. But I don't have the Collinar for grinding the Romulans to work on my Klingon reputation. Sadly, I've only got the Newton, so I've got to put up with just that. But again, it's going to be... It's massive. Alonzo Freeman is definitely one of the better officers that's been released into the game in the last 2 months for PvE players. And the best bit is, he's one of the best officers released into the game in the last couple of months that is actually free to play. Yes, he's completely free to play. So Alonzo for me is big thumbs up. So overall, what grade have I give them? Well, Alonzo does actually add some benefit to the game by helping increase that faction reputation. Again, he's going from 10% to 50%. Depends on what tier he is. But yeah, officers for me, sadly, it comes down to sourcing, because once this month is over, again, it's the same as always. We have not been told of a guaranteed sourcing path for any of these officers. Not one piece. So, how are we going to source them? We haven't got a fracking clue, but yeah, I actually said fracking. F-R-A-K-K-I-N-G. So just in case somebody thought I said the other one. No, I didn't. It's really tempting to. Really tempting. But, yeah. I can't give them more than a C. Overall grade for the officers this month will be a C grade. Okay, so moving on to the next part is all the different extra bits of content added. Yes, and adjustments as well. There is some adjustments. I'm going to throw this all together, and then I'm going to give it an overall grade. Okay, I'm not going to grade individual bits as we go along. It's just going to get an overall grade on this segment of the video. So we're going to start off with the new G5 Armadas. As the screenshots are showing you, these are the three new Armadas. One for Federation, one for Romulan, and one for Klingons. And they're going to come in the G5 territories. So they're starting in the level 52 systems and raising up. And after a bit of a shaky start with piss poor starter chest rewards, yes, if I still got the screenshot in my phone's memory, I would have put the screenshot up for you. But with the pitchforks out and the flamethrowers up and ready, we went to Scopely and said, what the beep? But anyway, so they massively improved the payments within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, they improved their payouts, which they said was in line with what the G4 was. But again, it still changed to 28.8 thousand level 54 epic starter chests all the way up to 100,000. Top notch. I can't grumble. That was actually a nice improvement. It was a nice improvement. So it went from us turning around, running that very first epic and saying, what the is this? What the hell is this crap? To, okay. Oh, sorry. Actually, let's throw it in there. Let's throw the extra. What the hell is this crap? Why is it worth me spending 500 directives in G5 space when I can spend them on the G4 and actually get better rewards? Now, I won't mind going into G5 space with my Voyager and actually starting one for my Alliance. But now, yes, you can reach them with Voyager if you don't have a ship that requires the warp range. Me, I'm going to need to get that Newton up. I need to get it a tier A engine, which will take it to 225 warp. And the last level of my enhanced warp clause, which will take it to 230. So I will at least be able to reach the level 52 systems with those 54 epics in them. And run them for my Alliance. And start getting those chests. But for the time being, I'll have to use my Voyager. Voyager's got the warp range to do it. Yes, you can send your Fisher as well if you really want to. Make sure it's well crewed out. But again, whether it's Voyager, whether it's definitely the Fisher, you will need a G5 ship in your formation to run those Armadas. Now, speaking of the G4 ones as well, a little amendment was made to improve the respawn rates. So now instead of having to wait 12 to 24 hours for that level 51 epic to respawn in the G3 system, so up the far end level 51 systems, yeah, you don't have to wait that long anymore. At most, I think it's an hour. At most, I think it's an hour. So I have seen them respawn fairly quickly. The uncommons and the rares also respawn fairly quickly. So at least you're going to get the chance to run them and actually spend those directives as well. But other than that, yeah, that's all I can say about it. So, right, next up is going to be the forbidden technology that's added to the game. And to be perfectly honest, there was about 5 or 6 pieces added. But the primary... So you got this one, which we can quickly discuss when it comes to looking at the new Syndicate expansion. But primarily, you got the Breen Energy Dampening Weapon. You've got the Cybernetic Implant. You've got this as well, the Cargo Transport. And I think I'm coming over to the important one in just a second, because there is a very big important one. But yeah, that's about it. So the real big one for this was the Ferengi Whip. Now, because Scopely completely effed up, and I mean completely effed up in the coding, they made this far stronger than it should have been. Far stronger than it should have been. And if I still got screenshots, here's how. Look, if I put them there, the massive increase from under 1 million mining per hour to 23 million. It's a massive. I think that, if I remember correctly, the player who sent me that one was a tier 9. Tier 9 feature. And yes, he did go out and buy the whip. And this is going to help him. Now, I'm going to throw in the downside here. I'm going to throw in the downside. Because it's now made Mining Monday literally a spender's event for the SLB. Alright? It's not a case of how many features have you got, filling up your cargo bays, filling them up before the event starts, getting them home quickly before someone shoots you OPC and gets the points for stealing. No, because now you can sit for 5 minutes, or probably not even 5 minutes, fill your cargo bay, go home, empty, come back, and you're going to keep doing it. Hell, you could put yourself in Wolf 359 and mine those nodes in like 30 seconds flat. Back home, back out, home, you get the picture. So it does have a massive negative side because it literally becomes a spender's event only. Not that I'm bothered because I barely participate. It's a top 10. It's only a 10 place leaderboard anyway. So I just stick with the SMS and then that's it, me done. But I do help my alliance out as best I can by stealing Latinum. But yeah, so in all honesty, the Ferengi Whip is the only one worth mentioning. The others are, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't know what they are. I don't know how good they are or anything. If you can tell me that they're good, please drop it in the comment section down below. But again, there's still the whip behind the paywall. It comes with its own refinery, which is actually pretty decent. It's actually pretty decent. And it's giving you extra things like more proto matter. More, I think, fusion rods are also involved in it. The only thing that's missing is the tier up catalyst. But there's something else that can help towards that tier. I can't remember what it is. Check out DJ's streams if you got the time to sit there and listen to it all. Or if you're actually just busy doing nothing, you can just put through headphones. Easy way to listen to it. But it does mention which how to do it. I missed that part. I saw the screenshot, but I was busy doing something else at the same time. So my attention wasn't there. But yeah, for 50 quid, you can get the Ferengi Whip. And it's actually the best FT released into the game. In all honesty, it's the best FT. But again, stuck behind a paywall. A brilliant refinery. Honest to God, it's a brilliant refinery. I can't sing praise on it enough. Downside, it's stuck behind a £50 whip. I bet that's what she said. But anyway, so, right. So that's the forbidden technology. Now, moving on to the other things added into the game was primes. As per usual, lately we've been seeing a large number of primes coming into the game. Again, all costing $100 each. So you're not going to be able... So free to play, yeah, sorry, you've got no chance of getting that. Is there any signs of actually dropping some of those particles into game at a steady drop for us? Yeah, right, forget it. But the two primes I'm primarily looking at in this one is going to be this one right here. Is your disco walk range. Massive increase. I do consider this one probably actually a fairly decent one for those of you who actually do use the Discovery quite a lot. Means you're going to get quite far out into deep space. I cannot sing this one praise enough. But again, it's stuck behind a paywall. Starts off at $50. The next level will be $100. So $150, and this one is going to be yours. Now, the worst one, and I'm sure you all know exactly which one I'm talking about. But let's bring it on screen. Why do I get the feeling I'm in the wrong one? It's not in the station tree, is it? It's in the combat tree. I bet you was all screaming at the thing. Now, first of all, before we actually mention it, first of all, we do have this prime here, which is, this was not dropped this month. It wasn't dropped. This has been a previous one. But we got increasing damage against stations. So this one is pretty good, especially when it comes up against this one. Now, if you are a low-level player who's new to the game and you are spending, you are going to go for this one once you've reached Ops 40. Coupled with that previous prime that I've just showed you, this is going to be devastating. So this is going to be good for really punching up against those big bases that you want to drain. Having that extra bonus of damage is definitely going to help you as well. But this is a massive, massive piss take if there's ever one. Now, we was all given Rom in the game earlier this year. And he's actually a fairly good addition to the game, in all honesty. Was it this year he's dropped, or was it last year? It might have been last year, actually, 22. But this is Rom on steroids. Now, I did do a video on this, and feel free to check that video out because I really slated this. But I also heard, I did some quick maths in it as well. But I also heard apparently Rom adds an extra round to this, but I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I've not tested it, but then again, I really don't know. So this one starts at Ops 40. Level 2 is for Ops 50 above, but a chance to delay weapons of the defense platforms and your ships for the required number of rounds. So this for 40 plus, it's 1. 50 plus, it's 2. If you buy both levels, again, $200 in total to actually buy this. And so, yeah, this is a prime that I'm going to staple right here as a bend over, kiss your ass goodbye because your defense platforms and ships mean jack shit. Yeah, that is it. That's what this means. You can't say any more than that. So, yeah, not very good for me in all honesty. Now, next up is we do have another cash grab. Yeah, another cash grab. And I'm sure you quickly spotted it in here. Again, it is another prime as well. Is this the one? No, that's not the one. So, but there is a prime floating around. I can't remember which tree it's in. I think it might be in the galaxy tree, actually. But there is a new prime float. Here it is. Which basically gives you an extra slot to your fleet commanders. Again, $100, and that is all yours. But if we actually quickly look as well, oh, it's our 3 officers. Trust them to drop this one right now. But if we go into the command, and then what you'll see when it loads up is the fact that now you've got the 2 extra slots. Now, obviously, you've got the pay center. You've got the one when you get your C seeds up to 44. So that's going to be 2 on the free to that's going to be 2. But the third one can also be found in the Syndicate expansion, which also dropped here in October. So you've got at least 2 on a free-to-play path, but they are grindable. It's going to take you a bloody long time to get them. I'm still at level 37 CC, so I've still got a couple levels to go before I get the second C. Getting that next one in the Syndicate is going to be a long time off for me, but then I won't have the other ones because it's still going to take time to get those officers available as well. But again, the other one is available in the Pay Store for a grand total of $100. Yay, more money grabbing. So now speaking of the Syndicate expansion, another expansion, I will say it's actually not too bad. I've only just gone level 28 within the last 24 hours. So I'm only going through the first expansion from last year. Yeah, the first expansion from last year when they added Mayfree to the game. But I'm still working on that one. But the new one starts at level 36. And as you can see here at the bottom, it's going to give you the... it's going to start giving you Forbidden Technology. Forbidden Tech gives every single level, but as well the Forbidden Tech full unlock for the new Epic Agamus Computer AI FT. So you're going to be able to get that. Now, where's this? Here it is. Level 40. Massive... absolutely long way off before I can even consider getting this level 40 to get that extra Fleet Commander slot. So I'm going to be stuck with 2 slots when I finally get to level 40 CC for quite some time. Plenty of time to get that 3rd officer available. So will they ever make that 4th one available in-game free-to-play grind? Can't say that they will. Again, with the primes that they've released into the game recently, again, do not expect a free-to-play sourcing because Scopely don't particularly give a rat's ass about making sure that you can get those primes eventually. I really hope that they change their mind one day. I really hope they do. So, with all that from the Armadas, the Forbidden Technology, the expansions of this, what grade can I honestly give it? Well, to be honest, the Armadas was the only upside. This is an upside as well. A new Forbidden Technology, which you can grind out. You'll get there eventually. A Fleet Commander slot, which, again, you'll get there eventually. But, again, a Fleet Commander slot locked behind a paywall. Nothing new there. Forbidden Technology, locked behind paywalls. Again, nothing new there. A decent Forbidden Technology, which they screwed up by making it over 1,000 times more powerful. Okay, maybe not that much, but... way more powerful than it should have been. Paywalled. With a decent refinery. Paywalled. So, what can I honestly give the content drop this month? D. It's got value to certain players. Certain players who are willing to drop a couple of $100 in this game this month as a bare minimum. Bare minimum. I'd probably say if you wanted the actual decent content in this game, you'd be dropping what, 2, 3, 4.50, 5. I'll tell you what, instead of me actually just reading off numbers, let's go with it. So we've got the Station Delay, $200. Discovery, $150. That's $350. You got the Whip at $50. That's $400. Fleet Commander slot, $500. $500 this month just for the bare minimum. That's just the bare minimum. So, yeah, no, so I can't do more than a D for all this. I really can't. And if I try to do more than D, then I'll probably end up with bloody pitchforks and flamethrowers against myself. I really don't want that. I can't afford it. I can't afford to have birth. I can't afford time in hospital. I'll be not making content for you guys. Is that a bad thing? Well, I'll let you guys decide. But do not drop that in the comment section down below. But anyway, so let's move on to the final piece of content added this month, which was Territory Reset. So we're all in season 1 of the new Territory Reset, and if we actually just quickly jump through into when it loads up, jump into it, you'll see at the top of this, I only noticed this within the last couple of days, a season is actually running. And obviously it runs, this is running from the 3rd of October all the way to the end of December. So basically, you've got a series of events. Well, actually, one event. So far, we've only had one event. It's been run 3 times. The 3rd time is still running. And basically, it means just putting your ships in territory for the whole time. That's it. You don't have to do anything. If you're fighting, then fair dues. But it's supposed to have refreshed territory to make it so everybody's actually fighting. Again, to be perfectly honest, we've pretty much taken back the territory that we originally had. We shifted one system for another, but that's pretty much about it. So a lot of other alliances have moved around and taken different bits of different parts. New services were also added, but the main service that everyone was actually worried about, and if we jump into this particular one first, if we can actually just grab hold of it, was the Monovine blueprints being added. Now, the downside to this is all these tier 3 sectors, only 3 actually have Monovine construction yard services. Now, the other 3 tier 3 sectors have a chronoton generator, which drops 10 chronoton particles. Yay. Gotta love it. But yeah. So it was nice to have this. Now here's a screenshot of how many blueprints you're going to get. 10 or 18 blueprints every 7 days. That is actually a decent drop rate, because that makes it quicker to source 200 blueprints faster than the Defiant or the Voyager pulling a blueprint a day. Unless you do them on the 22-hour timer, of course. But yeah, you can source the Monovine in, what, 11 weeks? Not a problem. By the time end of December comes, I will have the Monovine and be able to start engaging in that loop. So New Year, watch out for that video. But other than that, there's not much else that can be said. Obviously, the new Battle Pass has come with it. So we had a new tab added to the Events tab. When it finally loads, here we go at the top, Battle Pass. So your normal Battle Pass and the Territory Battle Pass have been moved here. The event, obviously, we've had is Trailblazers. It's relatively easy to complete. Put all your ships out. Let them sit there. If you end up fighting, just use cheap ships to repair, in all honesty, and try and just run around, keep them alive as long as possible. Let those who want to fight it out. Let them have the fight. If you want to get involved in a fight, get involved. If you just want to score the points for yourself and help your alliance hold that territory or take that territory, run around. Just run around. Do not sacrifice your ships. Get the cheap, your Rialto with your speed crew, your Orion Corvettes, your Fortunates, cheap to repair, 1 Latinum to repair. Bit of steel, that's it. Just do it that way. That's my best advice. But again, this runs, you do have the opportunity to do it. It might be a case of you might have to start multiple tier 1 sectors to actually completely do it. The Battle Pass itself does actually last a full 3 months. It is the elite side, as per usual, is behind a paywall, but there's a decent level of chronoton particles in here. You've got, what is it? I worked out 2,125 in the top line, and I think someone in my lines worked out 6,225 in the elite line. So a fair whack. You've got a chance as well, if you do buy the elite line this month, of unlocking at least 2 other pieces of forbidden technology. That is the cybernetic eye and the cargo carrier. But yeah, so you got some officer shards as well. There's pull-ups there. There's Gorkon. I've got Curler. You've got Syndicate XP. You've got some avatars. But some fusion rods. Some Tahan shards. Refined isogen. And some Taco Bells as well. But yeah, even some Metreon particles as well. Some premium artifact tokens. So there is some good stuff in here. But there's also a pile of shit as well. So Now, obviously, these quantum particles are going to be placed towards the new research in the territory tree. And if we just quickly have a quick gander at this, the territory, and if we quickly scroll over to the first section, which is right here, starting with schematics revision, all this is this little section is about increasing your efficiency or your isoemulsion, and also all 4 of the particles. Now, this one is an option if you go for it, because I've heard apparently this is actually pretty useless because Scopely don't know their own flipping maths. Sarcophagus does not have shields. There, I said it. Whoops. It doesn't have shields. Why? Well, it does have shields. It does have shields. 10%. Instead of 80%, it's 10%. So it's like really waste of time research that one. But then the rest down here, I've had a quick gander through them. They're not particularly too bad. The ones I'm primarily looking at is the Covariant shielding and the Huronian alloys, which is your hull health and your shield health, alternate respectively, because I said them the wrong way around. But yeah, protected cargo increase, faster warp speed as well, and mentorships increasing your officer stats as well. So yeah, not some bad pieces in here. I think there might be some more beyond the upgrade ops to unlock. So absolutely worth doing and adding to it. But again, I think they do actually cost your ISO. Yeah, they do cost ISO emulsion. So what I would probably recommend is if you are a free-to-play player, don't worry about them yet. Just build up your quantum particles. Just build them up and go through the rest of the research first. And then just get round to it when you get round to it. But that's my best recommendation. So, territory. What are we going? Territory changeovers. What are we going to call it? Well, in all honesty, it's not that bad. The research isn't particularly too bad. The battle pass is not particularly too bad. It's stuck behind a reasonably priced elite side as well, which is not $60, which is what you'd probably think for the 3 months. It's actually $50. But yeah, monavine in 3 sectors, so it could probably cause a little bit of friction, a little bit of competition. Yeah, so in all honesty, overall, I'd say this is a C grade. So for the territory side of things. So next up is going to be the Dabo wheel. And if obviously we go back into events and we go into the event store, we've got the Dabo wheel come. Again, not particularly too bad. It's pretty much the same as what we're used to. I'm not going to grade this. It's down to you what you actually think about that one. So yeah, ISO emulsion, away teams, resources and materials. It's helped get me to tier 7 Newton this month. So, and to be honest, as much as I was waiting till the end of November to put my Ops 47 in, I'm going to be able to do that next week. So, communication this month hasn't been too bad. The beginning of the month was actually pretty good, with the fact, like I said, kicking off over the starter chest for the G5 Armadas. They sorted out that pretty quickly. A lot of advertising and things going on for the 5-year anniversary, including the legacy reel, which is actually pretty good. I have obviously set up a page in my Discord if you want to drop your legacy reel in there for everyone else to see about how well you've done. This is not a case of you put out there getting players to judge you. This is say, look, but this is what I've done, this is how I've achieved, and this is what we want to see, is showing off what you've actually done. That's the way I see it. Share it with the community. I've shared mine. I did a video on mine. I've got no problem with people knowing how well I've actually done. So, and a couple of people have shared it, shared theirs. But again, if you do feel like dropping it, pop on over to the Discord and drop it in the Legacy Reel channel. But that was actually a nice reel. I will say that was a nice reel. And I got a copyright claim against it because of the music. But because it's not going to affect the channel in any way, shape or form, I'm just going to leave it as is. Unless it turns to a strike, in which case I'll have to deal with it. But what else we got this month? Stability of the game, as per usual. Crashes left, right and centre. Serious amounts of lag. can't really say that's particularly good. So for communication and stability, I'm actually going to turn around and say D for that one, for overall for them, because communication did really drop off after the thing. Yeah, there was the event issue as well when it came to the one of the event token events, where they actually put Voyager officers instead of Alonzo Freeman in, so they actually ran that on the Monday. So that was nice of them to do that. Yeah, the Gold Rush event with the such high milestones, yeah, that fell on deaf ears. They weren't interested in doing anything about that one. That was aimed specifically to be played by the ones with the Ferengi whip. So, or really just, you know, like I said earlier in the video. Yeah. But other than that, there's not much else I can say. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget, Rev Juice will also most likely, I'm just making an assumption here, be putting out his survey for the month. If it is, I will pin it to the comment section of this video as well. And I will also put it up in my Discord as well. Please, please go fill it out. And if you are an EU player, please can I strongly urge you to go do that survey, please. We need more representation from the EU servers about what they think of the game. But beyond that, there's not much else I can say. Overall grade for this month, D. It's a D. But I do feel like actually making it an F. I mean, I did last month, but I wanted to be fair. And again, I want to be fair this month. There have been some good stuff. Alonzo Freeman, G5 Armadas. The respawn rates for the G4 Armadas improved. The Monovine blueprints, for lack of a better way, is an addition to the game. It is a bit of an improvement, but it sucks for about 80% of the population of free-to-play players, which is a bit of a piss take, in all honesty. The Ferengi Whip, another good thing added to the game. Again, another piss take because it's stuck behind a massive paywall. No way to grind it out at the minute. And again, that's what it all comes down to, is the fact that they don't bother making free-to-play paths available or actually announcing anything about them. So, yeah, D's the highest I'm going to go. I'm sure you'll all make a case for an F. I am sure you'll all make a case for an F. But anyway, come along to Tuesday night's live stream. Make your case there with me. Because trust me, it's not going to take much to sway me to say an F, in all honesty. But like I said, I want to be fair to the game. We'll call it a D. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm Admiral Pegasus. This is the Pegasus Show with the review of October 23, Lower Decks 2, Part 2. And all I can say is, thank beep, it's finished. Watch out, we've got a 2-week break coming up as well. Yeah. Stay safe, live long and prosper, and I shall catch you on the next video. Goodbye.